Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a chaotic little evening so far, but we're ready for some ESEA invite action tonight. It's officially happening. We're season 27, week 2, and I'm joined here, maybe temporarily, maybe for the night, by Marxist. My name is Ro, for the record, but Marxist is here with me, and Console will be our camera guy. And apparently we're already live, so we can't even talk about the teams. It's Black Swan versus Velocity on Product. Marxist, you're not even in game, so I'm just gonna...
No, I'm opening the game right now. So you take it away.
Yes, green text matches live after the next reset. We're gonna quickly go over the rosters. Baradactyl's Medic, Jarrett as Demo, Kryptonite Showstopper on Soldier, Shamu, and Pete, aka Knuckles, previously known as Nuck, is Pete on Scout. That's your Velocity roster. And then Ninjax, Jinx as your Scouts, Mirror Man and Fruit as your Soldiers, Ether as Demo, and Cherish as Medic for Black Swan. Right away we see some soldiers flying all over the place. Fruit is over in China here, getting some good damage onto Shamu from behind the front lines, getting extra damage onto Jarrett, but the rest of the team has collapsed on top of Black Swan. They have no one left except the 2 Scouts. One Scout gets taken down over on China, and the last one's at Connector. He's getting taken down. No! He gets the shot into Shamu, and Jarrett throws the bottle! Oh, almost gets taken down himself, but thankfully he will stay alive. Baradactyl holding on to 78%, and that was a chaotic mid. But the headline here, Marxist, is Cheris died, and now they're trying to come in for a sack.
Yeah, and we're watching it go along now. Fruit will fall, but Bear is down to 34. He's going to collect a health pack and I'll be A-okay for now. Velocity's still holding the point here for right now. They do end up losing a player, though, over that, and Showstopper is going to be down for about 10 seconds. So it is shocking to me that they are just sitting here. Now they're forced. Will they lose very much out of this? They're going to get a kill. There is a player flying in behind. Maybe a roamer special. No. Fruit actually going to gain the advantage on that. Going to try to get this health back to respawn. Almost blows up Knuckles, but can't quite finish the job. And after it's all said and done, they're just waiting on Cheris to find the Uber. And they'll push back in probably once they get it. And that will be right now.
And the Uber comes out, and Ninjax is leading the charge. Mirror Man trying to get away through all the obstacles, but does manage to connect onto Jarrett, and Showstopper going down. It's very big, but now they're rotating over to the left side. Baradactyl is getting the players healed up, but there's still Pete from behind who's running up. Gets spotted out and is not going to be able to get that shot onto Cherish, but is still juking very nicely. And no, Cherish has got disconnected. Oh, that was very well navigated by Pete, but very poor attention to detail, and misses out on the KO there.
Yeah, and now the fight for the point is on. There is an attempted market garden from Fruit, but that comes to nothing. And they're going to pop the Uber to save Showstopper and secure 2 frags after that. So this should be a pretty easy go, but Bear is going to get taken down off by himself by Mirror Man, and that will upset the flow here. Velocity does still have about a 1-minute advantage, which is great for them. And the push will come back in from Cheris with full Uber advantage. In this scenario, Ro, you really don't want to pop this Uber if you don't have to. Plus these players, they can't get healed.
Yeah, no, they've gotten a lot of room here. Jarrett trying to do a little bit of chip damage here and there. Now they're just kind of trying to reconvene onto this point here. Velocity only has Jarrett in the front lines practically. Shamu's chipping away at that point, slowly taken down, and now the Uber gets forced off over Connector. Ninjax is going to pick up on the Kryptonite and has spotted out Baradactyl, but opts to go for the other players. But Fruit with the bomb coming in from over the top, grabs Jarrett and Bear at the same time, trying to scamp out house. They thought they were safe, but they didn't have enough coverage, and so Fruit was able to find his way in there and get the frags. Ether also getting a nice pipe on Shamu here. It's looking very good right now for Black Swan to mitigate this time loss.
Yep, and both teams using their Uber pretty passively in that they'll let the other medic approach, and then they kind of try to cow them to set up a big bomb, and it worked perfectly there for Black Swan. Now they're the ones with the Uber advantage, but they're just getting bullied off the point by Velocity. They lose Mirror Man there and then just don't hold at all. So what ought to probably have been a fairly prolonged hold is going to turn into a pretty quick Uber push right now. They want to try to get in here and retake the point before the Uber becomes a factor in Bear. He's about 20% short. He's gonna escape now. And Fruit will fall as well. Yeah, and a lot of Black Swan is falling to a flank from Kryptonite and Pete. The whole farm is falling to a flank from Kryptonite and Pete. It's pretty much just Ether floating around out here. He will die as well. Kryptonite's going to survive with 23 health. So an absolute disaster.
Yeah, Velocity committed so many players into what I'd like to call a modified meat grinder right there. We'll talk about it in a sec, but right now, a desperate bomb attempt from Fruit tries to get a little bit of room for the rest of the team, but they cannot. They're not going to have to try and bully their way through with only 20 seconds on the clock. Cliff has complete control from Jarrett. Right side is being mulched by all these soldiers, but Ether's putting out the good damage right now, able to pick up onto Shamu here. Only 10 seconds left, and nobody even outside of the spawn area. It's looking desperate, and I think that's going to be the end of it.
Yeah, they tried to force the wrong door there. They committed to pushing into 4 players, and that's just never going to happen. So they more or less conceded there. Black Swans having a rough time of the first round, but you never know. Things can change on Viaduct very quickly as we head into the next mid-fight, as it were.
Right away, we see Fruit playing a little passive inside connector. It's going to get eyes onto the soldiers, but the soldiers are going to get a nice little one-for-one exchange. Showstopper to Fruit collide in midair, but Velocity has once again taken the high ground, opted to play all over the point here. Ether has reinitiated onto the players, and we see a desperate Mirror Man does manage to pick up on the Pete, so now Velocity is backing out. They can't contest any further, but there's still very much a presence here. They're not giving it up whatsoever. Black Swan now do have control of the point and all these numbers. It's going to be very hard for Velocity to recontest, and they have the Uber. They're going to come in.
Yeah, and this is going to end up being a really awkward fight because Ether is down, or Ether as you prefer. Yeah, and it's going to end up catching him here. Wow, nice shot onto Bear. So that will be the end. Well, or not Bear, Cherith. And that will throw out Black Swans, and they're pretty much done holding this point now, and they may be done doing so for quite a long time. So they, as soon as Ether died there, Black Swan's hold was pretty much hosed, and a very nice decision from Velocity to go ahead and pursue that anyways.
So now we're seeing Black Swan coming back in. Fruit gonna get denied by Jarrett there, but Showstopper and Shamu going down. It's looking much better for Black Swan. 4 frags in their favor, but they lose their medic. Kryptonite from behind, who's now secretly navigating the Chine. He's actually gonna be able to get the health pack and be at full health, essentially. They are aware of his presence behind. Fruit's gonna be meeting up with him over on the side, but Kryptonite gets the better of it and will not be able to escape with his life, but it's a good trade because it's a slower respawn if you are the blue team right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, since they traded, it's not that much better. But they're going to come in anyways, this Velocity, and try to force this point, try and get some position here, because the times are nearly even, so it's okay. We're having an even fight here, no Ubers, and basically it's who takes the first big damage, and that's our friend over as Ninja X, who's any player's guess. And that will end it there. But Jarrett goes down, and they lose a lot of offensive power there. The flank does come in from Kryptonite, and that's going to free up Pete. And Pete will just come driving in there and take the position. So this will probably be another 30-second hold or so, because you're going to look at running suicides here, Ro, typically.
Not suicides. They've got the Uber, and Ninjax is leading the charge again. Can't wrap around the corner. Cherish is almost running in front of him. Now the Uber's getting forced off from both sides. Nobody else really from Black Swan in this exchange, but they're still grabbing the frags because the Uber from Bear has only been focused on so few of his teammates. So now Black Swan have taken control of this point, and they pushed out all of Velocity. Exchanging both Ubers is exactly what they needed to, because now they can continue to build things up and start taking away at this clock.
Yeah, an unconventional Uber versus Uber push. You don't see that every day on this map. And
right.
It worked out pretty good. And we'll see now what's going on. They're just trying to hold this. We're going to see another dry push out of both of these teams. Again, whoever takes the first big damage is out. Velocity scouts are both down to half health. So if they hang in here, it's not going to turn out very well. Showstopper getting beat up too. Jarrett is almost down, but he takes an arrow. Fruit will be the first to actually die, and he's going to fall due to a pipe. So just pretty good health management there. The Uber will be deployed, however, by the Black Swans, and they're coming in pretty hot. We'll see, will it develop into anything else? No, Kryptonite does a flank over on the stairway side, and that slows down the whole roll.
Bearband did try to make an attempt onto Bear's life, and a follow from Fruit is going to get some pressure up. Jinx, oh, it's a 3! Good damage from Fruit has allowed Jinx to come in and just chip away one at a time. Now it's just Pete alive on 8 HP. He can get chipped away from the across the map, but he doesn't. And the cap, once again, comes into Black Swan's control. They have 60% Uber ad. This is looking really good for them to at least take this round, if nothing else so far.
Yeah, the way you figure it, they're going to have at least a 30-second hold here unless some kind of disaster occurs. Because they do have that Uber, and between the 8 seconds of invincibility and the time that it takes to then cap the point. But they're just letting it go right now. The Heavy is deployed from Jinx to try to get this pushback. The Uber will come out. Jared is pretty exposed, but there's not a lot of ammo on the part of Mirror Man, but he will get the frag. However, they lose 2 players, and they get crappy spawns. It's all on this Mirror Man flank. Can he get the job done? He's going to take out Bear, and that will do something here. It's actually all on Jinx right now, and he's going to get eaten alive. So the Mirror Man play went out for, whoa, and we almost lose Cheris, too. So a little bit more dicey than I was expecting, that's to be sure.
Yeah, what was critical there is Kryptonite was able to get some good damage on the Ether. He took a while, but he did get the frag, and that allowed the rest of his team to push forward pretty much uncontested and then melt the rest of the team. Cheris did get out, though, so that Uber advantage is there in their favor. But Showstopper just now taking his first shot as Sniper doesn't connect with anything, and so now they're going to be wary of this. The Black Swan still have managed to grab the control point, and there's only 40 seconds left in this match right now, or this particular round. And right now, it's all steam ahead. Black Swan are not going to commit anymore. They need to get more frags here. Showstopper going to get taken down, and a follow-up onto Shamu. Fruit doing a very good job in Ether, connecting onto Jarrett, who was distracted by Fruit. Now it's 10 seconds left, and Velocity are desperate to get their respawns even. It's going to be very tight on this clock. Now we see the bombs coming in, potentially from Kryptonite. He has cleared the point, but gets taken down, and the cap goes off before they can even get to the point, so that will be 1-1. Black Swan tying things up.
Good play there from Cheris to just go ahead and pop the Uber, because if you're Ubered on the point, they can't put any time on it. So once you hit that 0-0, as long as there's no time, just pop the Uber and you'll win the round. But we're headed into the next mid here. Big exchange coming down so far. Bear is going to be the first to fall. The Mirror Man is trying to do his best, and it's not going to be enough. Cheris is jumping out, but there's a Pete in hot pursuit. Oh, Cheris decides to strafe rather than grab the health pack, and then Pete dies immediately after. So who knows? That's probably not necessarily a movement flaw, because if you beeline it to that health pack, then it's an easy shot for Pete. But help arrived, but milliseconds too late.
But it's Showstopper. Saw an attempt going for the point right now. We do see Velocity are, once again, they want to make sure their presence is known. They don't want to pussyfoot around. They know they have to play around the point. And right now, it's looking like a danger zone because Fruit's going to collect onto Shamu and then start his navigation behind. Jared, though, will not let him escape. Connects a very nice pipe from long range, but unfortunately gets taken out himself. Black Swan maintaining control of the point. Velocity is starting to work their way towards the cliff side. No Ubers to speak of for the next 10 or 15 seconds. They are looking like they want to make their way in through the left side of the point.
Yeah, and they are currently holding pretty static there, is Black Swan. There's some push-up coming from Jared, and we'll see, will anything else happen? No, Cheris is going to get dropped by a pipe from Jared. And that is going to be the end of the show here, maybe. The big bomb comes in, some air shots as well, but they are completely melting, are the Black Swans. And Bear didn't have to pop Uber.
Yeah, this is looking good for Velocity, and okay. Everyone was standing like perfectly still. I forgot they were slowing down the cap so they could at least get their respawns before capturing it, and that also increases the respawns effectively of the enemy team. So no pause, it's just people waiting. And now we're getting into action. Black Mirror Man gonna go right into the sticky trap right above Cliff. The sack wave is coming in, but nothing's gonna happen. A very well executed assassination attempt by Velocity on the attempted assassins.
Yeah, there was an air shot that went down there, and a lot of the players jumped in very close proximity to each other, so they ended up taking a lot of the same air shot damage, which that's nice for a frag video, but it's not very good for how you want your suicide attempt to go. Now, I see Mirror Man is on Pyro. Maybe they're going to try to use him to break this forward hold. So he is out now. They do get a soldier away, not a ton of damage. The fire comes down and it will burn Shamu alive. And then a follow-up onto Kryptonite, so the Pyro very effective. Fruit will get through and get another frag as well. And that's a 4-man wipeout there with really no Uber to speak of. Deployed by Bear. They had it the whole time, Ro, and they just didn't use it. They just let their team get melted.
And now Mirror Man is desperate to... Oh, he's making it happen. He's got the air blast, and nobody's pressuring him right now. He can air blast one more. No, just finally he does get taken down there. Scouts wisely taking the priority on shooting the Pyro. That did delay a little bit, but no Uber for Cherish to work with on the defensive side. So they want to get this force before they come in. But Bear is very smart to hold on to it. Be very careful. He doesn't have to pop for any reason until a sniper shows up. And because Mirror Man was on Pyro, there's quite frankly no chance of there being a sniper on Black Swan if you're on Velocity. But here comes the force from Fruit, coming in very fast and high. Does manage to get the rockets to get that force. And coming in through and trying to get this, chasing him in through the cliffside, but they didn't get it. And so now, Heath, they're grabbing up Pete. They're going to be pushing with his Uber now, but they didn't get forced. Jared's going to be the first frag there by Ninjax, and they're going to be rotating over to the left side. They're going to try and get this cap first, but Bear will be working with a 30 ad, which is going to be important over the next minute as this clock ticks down.
Yeah, and Velocity actually continuing to melt. Kryptonite going to get a crappy spawn timer off of this. And, you know, they have the Uber advantage, but it's kind of going away. It's only around the 10% range, which is not viable to work with, and in most circumstances. So we're seeing a repush here, but it's kind of delayed because they ended up losing Kryptonite. There will be a counter bomb here for just a moment from Fruit, and some aggression as well from Jinx. The bomb comes in, however, from Showstopper. He gets air shot. But it does do quite a lot of damage, and that's going to give Velocity enough to get through and pick up some frags as well. So nicely executed bomb there. You let everybody shoot all their ammo in the spam fight, and then you, who wisely saved, bomb in and get a ton of damage.
So now we're going to be seeing, once again, even Ubers on both sides. So you call it a rare event, but this is the second time it's happened now. Bear's going to be working forward. Ninjax once again leading the charge. Bear going to be meeting up with Shamu, making sure he doesn't die. He was also taking a little bit of pressure there. So now both Ubers are going to change, but this time nobody's in the crossfire. Nobody's away from the Uber, and instead the only death goes to Fruit. And so now Black Swan are finding themselves at a loss. They pushed in and nothing happened. And now there's only 40 seconds left to go before they lose the round.
Yeah, that typically is what you see out of an even Uber push. That's an even Uber push on to the point that you do not hold is not an ideal scenario. There is a big bomb now coming for Bear. There's a soldier on his head and he's going to go down. And that is going to wipe out a lot of Velocity, but it's just Jinx versus two full health scouts. So either Jinx is going to make the play of his career and 2v1 these scouts. No, it doesn't happen. Now they've just got to dive for the point. We do have a scout on the point right now, capping, going to be assisted by Fruit. They're going to manage to cap it. That puts the overtime timer on. So if Velocity recap, they automatically win this round. And we'll see, they're coming at it. Fruit and Kryptonite are going to trade out. The timer is coming down. Mirror Man's going to try to poke around, but they lose Ether. And now it's going to be a 3v3 fight over this point with the holders. Black Swan having a spawn disadvantage. What's going to happen? No, they just walk off the point and lose the round.
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, the decap was never really going underway. Even though Mirrorman was doing a very good job surviving, Cheris hitting some good arrows. It was not stopping the point from decapping, or allowing the point to decap, so it was staying constantly at that almost cap. That's all it takes to win, is just finish the cap.
Yeah, now we're watching another mid. Both teams approaching it pretty passively, but now as I say that, Showstopper bombs right onto the med. Doesn't take a ton of damage to Sheriff, but still going, farming that health back. Jinx will die, so will Showstopper and next Fruit. And with a one-player advantage, Velocity is going to cap this. But Black Swans, they are not deterred, but Shamu's going to die. Oh, Sheriff is going to go down, but so is Bear. An immediate med-for-med trade. And that's actually going to be a better for the Black Swans, because they have the faster respawn timer. And also, Velocity has just abandoned the field for the most part, due to lack of alive players.
Yeah, usually if you have a short amount of live players, it's a little bit harder to stay in the area. So now that heals are on both sides, we're going to be seeing some very casual, maybe aggressive TF2 here. There's a chance to push. You don't need an Uber to make your way through Viaduct. It's a lot more open and a lot more available to players to push with just heals. And right now, Baradactyl and the rest of Velocity say, we have what it takes to out-heal you, to play better, to out-DM you. And Fruit's going to be bombing in, immediately dies. But a follow-up bomb from Jared is going to try and come in. He tried to jump in and throw some stickies. They are going to be able to collect Ether. But Black Swans still have a fair amount of players working around Cheris. And one player behind is going to be causing a little bit of a havoc here. Shamu's going to be dealing with it. Very nicely done, taking down Mirrorman. And they deny the cap, but Pete is still behind. He's rushing up to the point here. Cheris is on the back end, going to get forced off here. And a very nicely coordinated bomb from a lot of players from Velocity. We'll be able to get that force, but Cheris is backing out. And a counter force comes off thanks to Fruit there, who is still behind and might be able to connect onto Jarrett. Jarrett gets taken down here, and the cap still hasn't gone off. So now we're seeing the players once again coming back to this point. Showstopper gonna get taken down over here on the side of Cliff. Cap does go off, and now Velocity are dealing with a slower respawn timer, which is gonna benefit Black Swan. As now they're coming in full force, rushing to the point is Jinx and Ninjax. They're doing a really good job of cleaning up these frags, and now Baradactyl and Jarrett have found themselves over at the cliffside entrance, wondering what went wrong.
Yeah, Velocity just didn't take the initiative there, and then when they finally did, they lost too many players to hold the point once they had capped it. So a very dominant round so far for Black Swans, which is a stark contrast from that first round that we saw. Velocity seem to be trying to find their footing here. They are going to come in with an Uber, but there is one to defend, and Ether's going to actually take out Showstopper with his longer Uber now, and Bear is badly exposed, and a demo frag will come down as well. We'll see what plays out here, Ro, but it's not looking at all good for Velocity. Lots of bad health going around. Cheris is going to even pick up a frag onto Bear, the ever-important med on med frag.
Yeah, that's really what stands out in a match, is being able to leave that mark, you know. Tell them, hey, you were out of position, and I had enough freedom to switch my weapon to get the frag.
It is, it's intensely annoying, and usually because you know they're going to gloat about it afterwards. Cheris does not have Uber yet, is gonna not still have it. No, hiding, ended up on the cliff. No one was with Cheris and was unable to get that last 5%. Yeah, Fruit saying whoops. But they are gonna kill Bear. So, wisely, Black Swans, in an absolute disaster of a situation, go ahead and sack for the med and get it anyways.
Yeah, Jinx did a very good job there, and managed to get a cleanup frag on his way out. So now with one player advantage and all the heals to work with, Bear is only just now respawning. It's looking very good for Black Swan to take this point. Jared with a nice trap on a Ninjax who wasn't aware of it. He's going to get taken down here, and they're getting another frag on a Fruit who went a little too deep without the rest of his team. Kryptonite also on the back lines here doing some good work. A follow-up push from Pete, as well as Shamu is pressuring these players on the right side by the staircase. They will be able to collect Kryptonite though, and he will not be able to cause any more havoc here. But it's looking really good for Black Swan still to contest this point here and try and make something happen. They only need 10 seconds on the clock, and they've got a minute 30 to make it happen.
Yeah, and they're going to just try and push right back in, but they're going to secure a ton of frags, especially onto Jared of all people, which is huge. They are trying now for the flank as well onto Bear. Not really enough damage coming down, but they end up getting another frag out of it on Pete. And now they are the point holders with Uber. Yes, they do use it. They drop a player. Doesn't matter, though. Red is going to recap and win. So there it goes. Tie game.
Yeah, this is what we like to see. But I think one interesting thing to point out is every single person on Black Swan has at least a domination. So going into this mid, I'm curious to see who's going to be the first one to die, and that might lend insight into who is dying the most. But instead, he gets the frag. Showstopper kills Cheris with 2 rockets. Cheris tried to walk across the point, but couldn't make the distance. And so now Velocity are looking like they're getting the better of it. Ninjax and Mirrorman are still in the back lines. Cheris now respawning. Shamu on very low health, going to get taken down. It's just Kryptonite alive. He's got a lot of health to work with. He's going right to the face of Cherish, who's going to have to surf to save her life, but doesn't. It does go down, and now it's looking really good for Velocity to hold on to this.
Yeah, and in my mind here, as the Swans, you play super aggressive onto Bear. Because Bear doesn't have Uber yet, so you may as well just treat this like a suicide. We'll see what they're going to do. There they go. There comes the bomb. First one is really, really good. Are they going to reach? He's going to grab the health pack, and unless there's a huge play here, no, it's not going to happen. So it started out pretty promisingly. They did what I suspected they would do. It just didn't happen. However, they are waiting to get these respawns in. Yeah, and now they're going to cap. That does kind of cost them, though, Ro, because they're now down almost a minute.
Yeah, that's a lot of time before retaking it. So this is actually looking really good for Black Swan. Pete is currently on that sniper and he's taking shots from China. Has spotted Cheris and is... Oh, no, please. Finally, there it is. Mirrorman going in fast and hard. Fruit also following up. Bear has to drop. Surely, no. Fruit kills himself. Feels bad, man. And Mirrorman was not keeping up the pressure. I think if Mirrorman was there, they could have even gotten the drop there because Bear was keeping his eyes completely glued to Fruit. Mirrorman could have potentially followed up, but instead they're going to be working their way to the point here. Mirrorman currently in the back line is going to get the frag on Pete, who had just respawned. Mirrorman in a single life has taken down Pete twice and grabbed Kryptonite, and is still in the back line. The force comes off. Fruit also respawning in a very reasonable amount of time. Mirrorman still in that clip, going to be coming back at any moment here. You see Velocity is taking a little bit of ground here. Showstopper is right in front of the on concrete. Working his way back and forth. It's going to be the Uber coming up from Cheris here very shortly here. Jarrett getting a little too aggressive though. Going to trade 1-for-1 with Ether. It's not the exchange Black Swan wanted, but they're going to be working with it to try and catch out Bear, who is completely backed out the spawn. And that's going to be the end of Black Swan's momentum there. Getting the Uber advantage. They're not able to secure it. Hold on here.
Well, it was a weirdly orchestrated play from Velocity because they let a team that did not have Uber take the point from them when they were very close to Uber. And now they're re-pushing onto this point. Black Swans feel disorganized, but they're going to sack in Mirrorman and their other soldier as well. Bear is going to surf away. So they end up treating this just as a sack and end up losing their med and everything else as well. And now it's down to Ninja to try to hero the point, but cannot. However, after the end of all that, they've got a nearly 2-minute advantage, which is great. However, they have to navigate a world in which Bear has Uber here.
Yeah, right away we see, there it is, Fruit with the market garter. Doesn't connect though, but did create a lot of room, and somehow we're seeing a cap go off. And they might even have to use the super to get onto it. P gets taken down. The cap was so close there. But now they've drawn a lot of players in. Desperate. Cheris doing so good on the juke. Someone kill this man. No. Showstopper. He stayed alive for way too long. Cheris juked the rocket that was needed to be juked. And now it's going to be a follow-up from Fruit. Does get the force, though. So that's very good. A late death from Cheris. But now they're going to be working with even Ubers practically. And Pete is respawning on that sniper. Going to be playing defensively, trying to prevent any dry pushing attempts. So we're going to see how this pans out for the Marxists.
Yeah, a strange play from the Black Swans there, because they've already got advantage. You don't need to try to just outright win it there. by running a sack and then holding your med in it. Just, if you're ahead, just stay ahead, and you'll eventually win. You don't have to make this huge sacrifice to try to get it done. But now they are dry pushing this point, something they have done very well tonight. But Ether is going to get taken out, and so is Jinx from the headshots of Pete. And the entire push will collapse. No dry pushing for you, says Velocity. And just like that, the 2-minute advantage of the Black Swans is gone. Yesterday's news.
So, we're now seeing an even exchange coming up here shortly. They need to work themselves around the sniper, who is playing in that sneaky spot on China on the little battlements here. Kryptonite might get taken down here. That's going to be a very good frag for them. They do manage to grab it. And now they got 2 players behind while the Super Exchange is having on top of the point. Looks like Velocity has the better of it. Beaver is just now fading, but they don't have the numbers to work with here. They do grab Jinx, though. That's going to be very good. But Mirror Man is sitting up top, getting some good damage onto Showstopper. Does get cleaned up by a nice pipe from Ether. The point is getting slowly chipped away here. And now the rest of the players are coming in really strong here. Pete not doing a lot of work here. Does get the shot right as I say it, and no heals are available. Fruit getting the late kill onto that. They will get the cap, but they don't have the heals, and now they need to get themselves as many frags as possible. And Fruit kills himself again. Feels bad, man. Gun.
Yeah, and Velocity is allowed to regroup, and they are going to take this point. The times are still fairly even, but it puts the Swans in a position where they've got to push to win right now, and Jinx is going to fall right away. And that is a problem. They're also pushing up the hardest avenue right now, trying to get in here, and they are all going to fall. There are 2, 3, 4 dead now. Yeah, and it is not going to happen. The overtime is in it. And that will leave us at halftime with Velocity in the lead.
This has been quite the action-packed Viaduct game. It didn't feel like it in the first round, but things have equalized, and we saw it there. There was a 20-second difference from winning the round. And potentially, just, getting 1 or 2 frags in the right time, at the right place. Fruit not killing himself. Who knows? There's a lot that could have happened. This is a very even match, Marxist. That's the bottom line. And I'm liking it. I'm loving it.
Well, and on the point of the match, I'm going to try to read through some stats really quick here, because usually Viaduct halftimes are short. So the highest frags are on Shamu, who's going 38 and 14, a pretty exceptional performance, I would say. He is also receiving the top heals on his team. Over on the other side, Ether is receiving top heals, which is a classic demo-centric strat, with Jinx going 33 and 22. We do have Cheris with that pivotal med frag, and that's the only med frag to be had so far. We have not seen crits. Your top damager is at 433. That's Ether, who is 1 point, actually fractions of a point. No, 1.1 over Jarrett. So the 2 demos really putting on a damage show here with over 400 DPM and not aided by the crits. And also fun for Viaduct because soldiers have to sack a lot, so we can enjoy their pain. Fruit going 24 and 42. That is a lot of sacking in, Ro.
But that's a lot of trying, is what I'm hearing.
Indeed. So there was famously a match in which Harblue, playing Roamer, died 64 times in a single Viaduct. His team still won. So it's
that speaks more to the team than Harb. Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's just part of the game. So you new soldiers out there, don't get upset when your Viaduct stat line looks awful. As long as you get the dub, it is all good. And it looks like we are actually gonna have the deciding round, potentially the deciding round here. If the Black Swans do not come away with the victory here, it is over. Velocity will be your Viaduct winner.
I just want to say it's quality, not quantity of frags. That's the secret. And now we're going into this mid, seeing if we can get a little bit of both here. Quality and quantity right away. Showstopper gets behind, gets taken down. But Ether, a very crucial frag for this mid-fight. Pete can be able to grab that one. Velocity is now trying to find their way around. Fruit might get chipped away at by Pete. Kryptonite will grab that frag here, but Jared gets taken out as well. And now the rest of the team has fallen to these back lines here. And now if potentially Merriman can get behind, one arrow is all it takes, he can do some big damage here. Not going to be able to fall off any further though. Kryptonite here jumping in, going to get pressured back. And now the cap first goes to Black Swan. They are looking really good right now. It's even on both sides, and they have everything in their favor.
Yeah,
even on both sides.
I'd like to see Black Swan play this more aggressively, but Shamu comes in and takes a little bit of time to pop. Not a ton of damage. We've seen a lot of these even Uber fights initiated by damage. Showstopper, though, gonna dive Sheriff immediately after. Not a lot going there. They are gonna end up securing the frag, though, with Kryptonite, but that's gonna bring the aggression. And we'll see, can they secure all the frags? No. They are gonna escape there, is Bear and Pete. So they just hightail it out of there. And that leaves them with 50% Uber advantage, but a 1-minute disadvantage on the timer. So you just want to cause chaos over here on Black Swans.
And now they're looking like they want to take the point. Or keep the point. Black Swan is now sitting in a bunch of players and getting the frags. Jinx is just a one-man wrecking ball, coming in and melting all these players. It's a full wipe. Velocity have been caught with their pants down, and now Uber is ready on the side of Black Swan.
So that's the strength of aggressive play on this map, because essentially what happened there was Black Swans thought, we can't ever hold this point against an Uber, so let's just go in. And apparently Velocity just never had that play in their playbook at all, and they end up dropping Uber. So, and their whole team, and not capping at all. And now they are 2 minutes behind. They have not put time on this point at all, Ro. And the Uber is about to come for Cheris. They're going to lose Fruit, but he spent most of this match dead, so it's okay. They are going to get Jarrett, but Ninja gets dropped as well, and now it's a bad situation because Cheris is in deep. Shamu is coming for frags, but it doesn't matter. They're going to actually push him back.
Yeah, they're collecting all these frags on the soldiers that are sacking, going a little bit too deep before Bear really has any other presence from the team, and now even Pete's going to fall. So what looked like it was going to be a free repush without even Uber, just a dry push with heals, has now turned into, let's wait for the Uber, let's push in, and now Black Swan want to get this force off if they can. They're playing really far back here. Mirrorman is kind of poised up top. Brute going in once again. Not gonna be able, oh, he does get it! Because he got airborne while he was reloading, and that scared Bear just enough. They're gonna grab Ether though. That's a very crucial frag to slow things down, even if it's just a tiny bit. But Kryptonite comes in from behind. Oh, he tried to flank. Isn't gonna get the frag though. Kryptonite will escape with his life. Shamu took a big meat shot there. Might even get taken down there, but no. Now it's gonna be full Uber for Black Swan, but there's a mediocre forward hold coming in from Velocity here.
Well, the trouble is Velocity has got to hold this point for about 3 minutes in order to have a chance at winning this. And they have to do it with Uber disadvantage. So you need to try to get the Black Swans to pop that Uber as soon as they come out of spawn. Yeah, and there it goes. So the Uber is away. As long as Velocity escapes, they use some speed and acceleration to get out of here, they'll be okay. Yeah, now they can refight this. So perfectly orchestrated. You're just trying to get as much time as you can on this point, Ro. And it looks like they're going to accomplish it.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of it. Showstopper going to grab Ninjax on his way out even. Now it's looking like a desperate attempt from Black Swan to get the sack completed and get Cheris out, but they're half and half. Half of them are coming in one at a time, and they still have Cheris practically all the way forward. Finally, everyone else dies. The respawn Ninjax is going to be up, and they're going to be ready to push back in shortly with even Ubers, and then see how it goes. But right now, the forward spawn, the forward hold, is looking really good from Velocity this time around.
Yeah, I see that kind of as a misplay there from the Black Swans. When you have a 2-minute advantage, just go for it. And now we've got Mirror Man on the Pyro, which was so effective earlier. The Uber will be popped in the face of the Pyro and a sack from Fruit. And that is enough to get the Swans Uber out of them. We'll see. The timer, though, is still pushing down. And it's not looking great right now, but Velocity is trying to hold their ground. The push is coming in now. Jarrett will die. So will Jinx as well. Velocity still with superior player numbers. As long as they hold it together, they're going to even this time up.
Yeah, it's looking really good for Velocity right now. Cheris is only just now respawned. They have a one-man disadvantage, but the heals haven't even come up yet, so it's basically even now that the respawn has happened. Black Swan are opting to go to the staircase on the side here. We do see a quick bomb from Fruit. He immediately gets mulched as soon as he lands. Did manage to pick up Pete, but Showstopper will also grab Jinx. And then a little bit of aggression here. Black Swan's going to lose Mirrorman as well. This is looking really desperate because now there's no time left and they've lost 3 players. The respawns are going to be coming into this if they can delay, but instead an Uber gets forced off and this might be the end of it all. Velocity just needs to cap this off. And it's going to be the end. Cheris has stayed alive, so they still have heals to work with, and Fruit is on the front lines too. They've actually pushed players back, and Fruit's going to be jumping in right now on top of Showstopper here, and they're all in behind. 1 rocket to take him down. Yes, 2 down now from Fruit. Kryptonite's just on top of the point. Might get arrowed here. No, he dodges it. And it gets chipped away at, and that's going to be the cap. It's looking like it's not over yet. 20 seconds to go, and Black Swan had the point.
Yeah, well, they also have Uber. So essentially the game plan here from Velocity is you gotta just sack for the Uber, because if they pop it on the point, you lose. They should just pop right now. As long as Cheris doesn't get jumping around and surf off the point, they win. Here it goes. Can they accomplish the impossible? Yes, they do. It's a tie game. 3-3. It looked really dark there for the Black Swans there for a second. I thought they'd almost given the game away, and they come back right at the end with a heroic push and tie the game. This is it right here, Ro.
Yeah, this is looking really good. Black Swan are kiting this hype right now and are able to take down Kryptonite, who couldn't get in fast enough. Fruit doing a very good job of killing Jarrett. And now Showstopper's coming in late, does get the 2-shot onto Cheris. That's going to be very crucial for Velocity. But right now, Barodactyl needs to get out, and he's a little bit too far flung. He's going to be meeting up with Pete, who was able to stay alive, so now Velocity will have a full Uber to work with. And they're going to be pushing in right away. They don't need to wait for anything. Ether desperately puts up a trap, but it's not going to connect onto anything. No one's going to be... Bear! No! Bear! He almost lingered back and forth right into the wake of that explosion, but he didn't.
Yep, and now we'll see a pretty even round so far, but Bear has the Uber advantage. The suicide wave is going to come here. Fruit will go the first. Mirrorman will follow second. Ether and Jinx will die nearly the same moment. A pretty good suicide overall. They just about all ended up on the same spawn timer except for Fruit because he died about 2 seconds earlier. But Kryptonite is spamming the spawn. So we'll see. We're going to end up probably seeing one of these even Uber fights and also the Mirrorman Pyro.
He's making his way already, but immediately gets denied. But that did open the door for Fruit to come in and get the force off. Unfortunately, Cheris went in to commit with it and couldn't save Fruit. Jinx, however, will grab Pete as a consolation prize, and that's looking really good for Black Swan to push in because now they have practically even numbers, even an advantage now that they got the respawn. So working away to the point here, Ninjax shooting left and right. Jinx also has an opening here. Kryptonite has somehow found himself pencil jumping on concrete, and that's going to cost him his life here. Now a follow bomb from Showstopper is going to be very strong, but can't connect that second rocket. Now Black Swan is feeling a little bit more comfortable on this this point.
A really nice long-range pistol frag from Ninja X too, so kudos for that. We usually focus on air shots and not so much wacky scout aim, but that was really nice. So we now have mostly Uber advantage for the Black Swans. They do hold the point, but they are being bullied back by Velocity. Suicide attempt comes in from Showstopper. Not a whole lot doing there. And now the repush comes in from Black Swans. This is the right decision. We'll see if they get any kills. They'll trade out, and they're going to pop Uber now. So they are holding... Oh, and Ninja X is going to secure the Pete frag, but they're ceding the point right now. They're going to go for a repush. Will they block it? Yeah, they are going to secure the block right now, but they take a ton of damage for doing so. And maybe this will swing back in Velocity's favor. We don't know yet. The bomb comes in. That could be huge. There goes Cheris. Really nice play there from Velocity, but the health is still really good for these Black Swan respawns. And they are going to cause some havoc up front here. So we'll see. what happens?
Either still on the front line, trying to get as much there as he can, just pistoled down by Shamu. But the respawn from Black Swan, Mirror Man still committing to this. He wisely backs off. Hey, we're only down 20 seconds. Let's just calm down, regroup, push in with our numbers, wait for Ether. That's the biggest thing, but they're still committing to it, waiting for Ether, who's coming in through the cliffside right now. They're getting pressure on the point, and the time is decapping away, but the shot on Fruit, who tried to go across the wall with the wall shot, gets taken down by Pete. What an insane snipe. Absolutely denying that bomb. That was huge, and now they have all this forward spawn room, forward hold room to work with, and they still have their Uber. This is looking really good for Velocity to hold on to it, but anything goes because they can wait for the 10 seconds to get the Uber and then push out.
Yeah, and all the wacky plays are coming out from Black Swans. They got a sniper. They got a pyro. I'm surprised they are not running crits. Because you will probably end up with a crits as a better surprise. But they do have the Uber. They're going to put it on the Pyro Soldier's back right here. Pete does not get any kills right now. Fruit is going to trade out essentially with Showstopper, who dies from bleeding from the sword. And they are all over this point of the Black Swans. The Ubers are not that great for Velocity. They're going to lose Jarrett. Ether will fall as well. No demos involved in this game at all anymore. And they are all over the point, but they've got to hold it for almost 2 minutes. And the Ubers are even, so right now they're doing it. It'll come down, I think, to Pete. Will Pete get a big frag here?
Yeah, all eyes are on Pete, but he's actually going back to spawn. Coming out of scout, they know they can out DM them. They don't have to work with a sniper or try to get the angles. They just want to push with raw fragging power. Pete certainly has it. So they're going to be working in. Mirror Man's still on that pyro. He needs help, so he's going to have to retreat for just a moment. Fruit walks into the face of Kryptonite, who was jumping at roughly the same time. He's going to die for it. But now the big damage is coming from Mirror Man, but no one else is all. It'll follow up. If Mirror Man did that while Fruit was doing some kind of bomb, this could have worked out better for them. But instead, it's going to be an Uber popping up from Velocity. They're coming to the point here. Chera's countering right away, rushing players in. Jinx is going to stay alive, but the Uber is going to fade at roughly the same time, so it's not really going to do anything for Black Swan here. And now Jinx is left out to dry. The follow-up bomb from Fruit is coming in fast. You look at the frag onto Jarrett here, and that's very nicely done. But Ether is only one here to do anything. He does get the frag onto Kryptonite, but dies himself. It's just Cheris against 2 scouts. A respawn Ninjax comes in. He's going to be going on to the point here with full health, and 2 shots is all it takes to take it down. And that's going to be the round 2. Velocity winning it 4-3 on an insanely close match.
Yeah, both teams played very similarly overall with their strategy, and they both executed it about as well as each other too. So a very tight game, really nice to see. I didn't get to plug Viaduct as my favorite map in our non-existent pregame, but that was really nice to see. Viaduct week is my favorite week, Ro, and we got a nice one this season.
Yeah, we got a banger to start things off, and this is only week 2. It's just a shame we'll never see it in playoffs.
Well, you never know. Map 3.
Well, you never know. Pick ban.
No.
Maybe.
All right, let's do a quick.
We're way ahead of our. We're putting the cart before the horse.
Quick stats. Okay.
Yeah, let's run
no med frags other than that one onto Bear, and ultimately it wasn't enough to win the game. So, our DPMs fell quite a bit, but Jarrett still king damager. Frags still Shamu going 54 and 20. I would say that's pretty good. And
phenomenal.
Yeah, mighty good there. Let's see, what else have we got running around on here? Showstopper was trying to catch Fruit in total deaths, but failed. Fruit almost achieved the magical Harblue S64. Instead, he ends with 59, just short of the desired record. Let's see, what else is going on here? That's about all I see. Anything else from you, Ro?
Not particularly. I mean, huge shout outs to the scouts doing a very good job. I mean, Jake's also almost hit that 50 frag mark. But that's what happens when you have a full round game. 7 rounds. I'm good at math. 7 rounds of Viaduct. That's what'll happen. You'll get the frags, you'll get the damage. It'll show in the stats.
Indeed. So Very solid game from the two teams. Overall, the team statistics are pretty heavily weighted in Velocity's favor. Velocity had fewer baffling missteps relative to Black Swan in a couple pivotal rounds, but still a very close game. So the Velocity was a little more consistent, but Black Swan could just break it out and kill all Velocity when they wanted to. So I wouldn't feel too bad about this L that they're taking right now.
Yeah, no, it was hard fought, and honestly, it sets my mood for what Black Swan is bringing to the table. It was Swift, not Velocity. It was Swift that got to second place. I was gonna say if they went toe to toe with second place from last season, I'd be proud. But they went toe to toe with fourth place, which is still very applicable, very awesome to see. Very good game. I was very pleased, and I hope you viewers at home were pleased as well. This has been Velocity versus Black Swan. Velocity taking it down 4-3. I've been Ro, joined here by Marxist with Console on the camera. A huge shout out to Console. He caught some very beautiful moments that I could not catch. I recall Ether dying to a crater after doing a double sticky jump with less than full health. So those are magical moments that you can only get with expert cameramen like Console. So give a huge shout out to Console. Send some hearts in the chat. Unironic T-Tours, whatever you want. And I think with that, Marxist, I think we're done here.
Indeed, I expected to cast a different game, but I'm very happy I got to cast this one.
So there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you later this week, later next week, later this season, later this YouTube series, as these get uploaded to YouTube in a timely fashion. Wherever you're watching us, just know you can always find more at teamfortress.tv, where we keep our schedule and our history and all of the things TF2 related. So we hope to see you there at the channel, on the website, on our YouTube. And until then, have a good night and peace out.